The year is 2019. A storm is brewing in Hong Kong. It began with a controversial extradition bill. This bill threatened to erode the city's autonomy. It sparked fear and anger in the hearts of the people. They took to the streets. Millions marched in unison. Their voices echoed with a singular demand: freedom. The people of Hong Kong had 5 key demands. First, the complete withdrawal of the extradition bill. Second, a retraction of the government's characterization of the protests as riots. They demanded an independent inquiry into police brutality. The release of all arrested protesters was non-negotiable. Finally, they yearned for what they had always been denied: universal suffrage and genuine political reform. The world watched with bated breath. Would Beijing listen, or would this be the start of something bigger, something that could rewrite the fate of China? The answer was not long in coming. The protests were only the beginning. The authorities responded with force. Tear gas choked the air, rubber bullets flew. Water cannons blasted through makeshift barricades. The world watched in horror as a peaceful protest was met with violence. Yet the spirit of the Hong Kong people remained unbroken. International support grew. Western democracies condemned the crackdown. Sanctions were imposed on Chinese officials. The people of Hong Kong were not alone. They drew strength from the solidarity of nations who recognized their plight. But Beijing remained defiant. The Communist Party, threatened by the burgeoning pro-democracy movement, doubled down. The national security law was imposed. A wave of arrests followed. The city, once a beacon of hope, was shrouded in fear. The year is 2022. The Legislative Council, emboldened by unwavering public support, made a historic declaration. Hong Kong was declaring independence. The news spread like wildfire. It was a watershed moment. The world held its breath. Western democracies, recognizing the legitimacy of the declaration, offered immediate recognition. The United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, all stood with Hong Kong. It was a diplomatic earthquake. China was furious. The CCP denounced the declaration as illegal. They threatened swift and decisive action. The die was cast. There was no turning back. The reaction from Beijing was swift and brutal. The CCP, unable to fathom a challenge to their authority, vowed to crush the rebellion. Troops amassed on the border, propaganda machines roared to life, denouncing the separatists and foreign agents. Fear stalked the streets of Hong Kong, but the people, having tasted freedom, refused to back down. They knew what was at stake. This was about more than just Hong Kong. This was about the future of China itself. Across the mainland, whispers of dissent grew louder. The flame of democracy, ignited in Hong Kong, began to spread. It found fertile ground in the hearts of those who had long suffered under the CCP's oppressive rule. Section 5. A new dawn for democracy, the rise of democratic forces in China. The declaration of Hong Kong's independence had a ripple effect. Across mainland China, pro-democracy activists, emboldened by Hong Kong's defiance, rose up. Student groups, intellectuals and ordinary citizens, long suppressed by the CCP, found their voice. Regions with historical grievances against the CCP saw an opportunity. Tibet, Xinjiang, areas with long-standing struggles for autonomy, joined the chorus of dissent. The movement was gaining momentum, threatening to unravel the very fabric of communist China. The CCP found itself facing a dilemma it had not anticipated. Crushing Hong Kong might have been achievable, but quelling a nationwide uprising was a different beast altogether. The stakes had just been raised. Section 6. The battle for China's soul, the outbreak of civil war. The tension finally snapped. Clashes between CCP forces and pro-democracy militias, once sporadic and localized, escalated into full-blown conflict. The Second Chinese Civil War had begun. The world watched in disbelief as the sleeping giant, once thought to be an unyielding monolith, was tearing itself apart. The conflict was as much ideological as it was geographical. On one side stood the CCP, clinging desperately to power, determined to preserve their authoritarian grip. On the other side, a diverse coalition of pro-democracy forces, united by their shared desire for freedom and self-determination. The world looked on with a mixture of horror and hope. Could this be the beginning of the end for the CCP? Could democracy finally take root in the world's most populous nation? The answer, like the outcome of the war itself, remained shrouded in uncertainty. Section 7. A world divided, international involvement and global impact. The world was not a passive observer. Western democracies, long critical of China's human rights record, threw their support behind the pro-democracy movement. Diplomatic recognition was just the beginning. Military aid, in the form of weapons and training, flowed into the hands of the rebels. Regional powers, wary of China's growing assertiveness, were quick to offer support. Taiwan, Japan and South Korea, all with their own scores to settle with Beijing, saw an opportunity to curtail China's ambitions. The Second Chinese Civil War was rapidly escalating into a proxy conflict, with global powers vying for influence. The economic impact was swift and devastating. Global supply chains, heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing, were thrown into disarray. The price of goods skyrocketed. The world teetered on the brink of a new recession. Section 8. A future uncertain potential outcomes and a fragmented China. As the war raged on, it became clear that a swift victory for either side was unlikely. China, once a rising superpower, was fractured. The conflict had exposed deep-seated divisions, both ideological and geographical. One potential outcome was a prolonged stalemate. Neither side could achieve a decisive victory. China would remain a fractured nation, carved up into zones of control. The CCP might cling to power in the north while the south embraced democracy. Another scenario was the complete collapse of the CCP. This would leave a power vacuum in its wake. A new democratic China could emerge, but the transition would be fraught with challenges. The risk of further fragmentation and chaos was very real. Section 9. The legacy of freedom, Hong Kong's enduring impact. Regardless of the outcome, one thing was certain: the world would never be the same. The Hong Kong protests, once dismissed as a local disturbance, had ignited a fire that spread across China. Hong Kong's legacy would be as a beacon of hope. Their fight for freedom had inspired millions. It had shown the world that even the most powerful regimes were not invincible. The yearning for freedom, once suppressed, had found its voice. The Second Chinese Civil War, sparked by the Hong Kong protests, would be remembered as a turning point in history. It served as a stark reminder that freedom is not free. It requires constant vigilance, unwavering courage, and a willingness to fight for what you believe in. The fight for freedom is never truly over. It continues in every corner of the globe, wherever people yearn for a better tomorrow. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Pearl River estuary, the Chinese territory of Macau follows Hong Kong's example, declaring their own independence from mainland China. The CCP, still fighting the civil war, is unable to stop the declaration. Macau, long known for its casinos and tourism, had always seemed a world apart from the political unrest of its neighbour. But inspired by Hong Kong's unyielding spirit, the people of Macau decided that they too would strive for self-governance and freedom from the CCP's control. This declaration sent shockwaves through the already turbulent region. The CCP, stretched thin by the ongoing civil war and international pressures, found itself unable to respond effectively. The world watched in awe as yet another city rose up, defying one of the most powerful regimes on the planet. Macau's newfound independence was a testament to the ripple effect of Hong Kong's fight. It underscored the power of unity and the human spirit's indomitable will to achieve freedom. The declaration marked a new chapter in the struggle for democracy in China, further fracturing the once monolithic state and igniting hope in other regions under the CCP's rule. As Macau celebrated its independence, the echoes of their courage resonated far and wide, reminding the world that the quest for freedom and democracy knows no boundaries. In the aftermath of Hong Kong's declaration of independence, the newly independent country of Hong Kong holds a nationwide referendum on what the country's new national anthem should be. The streets are filled with anticipation and hope as citizens cast their votes for a song that will represent their hard-fought freedom and unity. The ballots are counted and the result is clear. By an overwhelming popular vote, the protest song "Glory to Hong Kong" is chosen as the new national anthem. This anthem, born from the struggles and sacrifices of countless citizens, encapsulates the spirit and resilience of the Hong Kong people. As the first notes of "Glory to Hong Kong" resonate throughout the city, a wave of emotion sweeps through the crowd. Faces light up with pride, and tears are shed as the powerful lyrics echo the journey from oppression to liberation. The anthem becomes more than just a song. It becomes a symbol of their collective identity and an enduring reminder of their fight for democracy. The world watches in admiration as Hong Kong, once a city of protests and unrest, stands united under its new anthem. "Glory to Hong Kong" serves as a beacon of hope, inspiring other regions and movements striving for freedom. It is a testament to the power of music to unite and uplift, and a poignant reminder that the spirit of a people can never be silenced. As the anthem plays, the citizens of Hong Kong sing in unison, their voices blending into one harmonious call for liberty and justice. The echoes of "Glory to Hong Kong" reverberate far beyond the city, touching hearts around the globe and solidifying Hong Kong's place as a symbol of resilience and hope in the fight for democracy.